people are saying right now, just to compete, I have to offer over asking price. And that may be true. And it also depends on what realtor you're working with. We here at the Burials team work with some expert pit bull negotiation, no BS, insert beep, beep, beep here, negotiators, experience, pit bulls, dogs, you know what I'm saying? Like DMX, you know, but my dog's at. You want to go rent, first month's rent, last month's rent, all these application fees for all these different places that you want to go rent. I don't care if you're renting an apartment complex or if you're renting from a private owner trying to rent a house. Application fees are completely asinine. And guess what? They're non-refundable. How's that look? I'm spending almost $2,000 just to try and run a place. Some place that is not even mine. Like, does that even make sense? Like, I'm going to apply for something and pay an application fee for a place that I might not even get. And if the rent is $1,500 and you sitting there saying, but we're taking highest and best. And I have to now, like, outbid you and say I'm willing to pay you $1,700, $1,800, which is happening right now. Like, it's happening right now. It's so crazy. Or you can say, hey, let me go talk to Jeremy over at the Burials team. Let me go talk to him or Felix or Melissa, right? And say, hey, they have a tool that if they're worried about bidding over asking price, we can tell you if it makes sense or not. Why? Because one, it's a depreciating asset. So we take a look at the house. It's a depreciating asset. It's not depreciating like a car where it just depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot. Two, we would do a calculation versus how long you'll be in the home versus what the current home's worth in now versus what that house is going to appreciate over the next 5, 7, 10 years. And we can tell you exactly when you're going to recoup your money. There are people right now paying $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 over asking price right now. I know I bought my house in December of 2020. And in just 6, 7 short months because of the market, I could put a for sale sign right now on my house. So I bought my house for $440. I guarantee you right now, I can just stick a for sale sign on it right now and get $470 for it. Like, work with someone who can break down the numbers and do the math and say, hey, I plan to be on the home this long. This is the neighborhood's rate of appreciation. This is the price of the home, and takes in all the math, all the variables, and say, hey, this is when you're going to get your money back. And this is why it makes sense, because you'll get your money back. You keep wasting money on that rent stuff, you're never going to get your money back. Don't worry, I'll wait, pimpin'. In the words of Cat Williams. So it's completely asinine to me why somebody would just want to go get pre-approved. Are there any application fees? No. Or there shouldn't be. Hashtag myths that lenders don't want you to know. Right? So if someone says, yeah, I'm going to charge you an application fee just to see if you qualify. How stupid is that? How stupid is that?
Baby, I'm gonna throw it to you, okay?
Like, why? Anyway, I digress. Can renting be a strategic tool if I currently own a home and I decide to sell that because of the current market that we're in and find a short-term rental until they're ready to buy their next property, right? I think every situation is different. It has to make sense for your personal financial situation. You have to understand a balance sheet. You have to understand assets, liabilities. And if you're going to rent and you have a house that has a lot of equity built up into it and it no longer meets your needs in the home, or you have other financial situations, like you have debts you need to pay off, but you have good cash flow coming in, you have to take a look at what your financial situation is if it makes sense to cash out right now, if the equity is there. Because if it's there, it could very well make sense. List your house, sell it, go into a short-term, this is being strategic, going into a short-term rental, right? Because now you're positioning yourself with this asset that you're going to get $50, $60, $70, $80, $90,000 from selling it, right? Now it's in your bank account, it's sitting, it's growing, maybe you invest in whatever, right? And then because there is an inventory issue, you wait for the right property. The key to that is can you find a rental that is less or comparable to your current mortgage payment, right? but you literally just cashed out and you're just waiting for another asset to reinvest that into, right? So if you can do it that way, that would be the only way I would see renting in the short term, not for an extended, financial plan at all, but it's like a short-term period. Like that could potentially work, but it has to make sense for you, your financial situation, and what you need to do with those funds, right? So that's why it's so important to have a consultation with your, mortgage professional about what makes sense.